Hey folks, Farmer Marshall. Now before I get started, let me tell you Happy New Year. And with New Year's come new beginnings. For my garden for this past fall winter, I grew something new, a little different from me, Kohlrabi. You can eat the leaves, you can eat this little, it's not a root because this actually grows above the soil, but you can eat this too. I love it, never tried it before. Now I just harvested these today and a few other things that I'm going to show you in the video. But please, do me a favor, do yourself a favor. When you're gardening, I've always kept it simple. I always only grew things that I eat. So I have a little tip for you. It's not your typical gardening tip, but my tip is try something different. I've grown the same things year after year after year. But sometimes you hear about something that makes you a little curious. Why not give it a shot? Buy a few plants, or in the case of these, buy some seeds. You can get seeds for $2, $3, $4, but that pack of seeds may have 20, it may have 100 seeds in it. So for the money you're going to spend, it's worth trying something a little different. Now, I do have a few new things I'm going to be trying for the summer. And if you're in part of the gardening community, come on, hang out, see what I have going on. And if you do dare to try something different, put it in the comments. Maybe something I've never tried before. Maybe something other members of the gardening community haven't tried before. Put in the comments also things that you planted new this fall, winter that you've never tried before. Maybe something we might try. So anyway, let me go on and finish harvesting this stuff. It's getting kind of cold out here. Looks like it might be the right time to go on and harvest at least some of these collard greens. Once again, using the cut and come again method. Just cut off a lot of the larger leaves on the outside of the plant. Leave the center leaves. I really can't tell you how many leaves to leave. I usually get all of the big leaves. Big is, for me, that's still plenty big. But this here, these guys here, that's enough. You can leave those on the plant. I probably could even take maybe this one and this one here. But, matter of fact, I think I will take one. But that's plenty of leaves left for this plant to continue to grow. I don't want to overdo it as far as taking the leaves because the photosynthesis, I can't believe I said that word and said it correctly. The photosynthesis will help the plant continue to develop and grow. It gets energy from the sun, so I don't want to overdo it as far as taking all of the leaves. I think I might need a bigger basket, but I'll do. And I don't know if you can see, now these plants have gone through a few frosts. You can kind of see some of the damage here. I'm going to take this leaf off this way you can get a better look. Well, guessing that's frost damage. Not quite sure. So I'm leaving fewer leaves on that one. But the reason not really sure what this is. I guess it could be a fungus, but this time of year, honestly, I don't know. But I'm not going to compost that because it might be something that could spread. Not overly concerned because it looked like it hadn't spread at all to a lot of the leaves. Tip of this one here. If you ever have a diseased plant and you're removing leaves, and even though I do try to hot compost, I don't compost diseased leaves, because even if your compost pile gets up to 160 degrees where it kills a lot of bugs, diseases, and whatever, it may not, it's going to get 160 degrees in the center of your compost. All that exterior stuff does not get that hot. If you mix it, eventually more and more of the stuff will get hot like that. But there's no guarantee that everything is going to get hot. So better safe than sorry. I have plenty of stuff to put in my compost, so I don't have to overdo it as far as taking a chance and putting leaves in there or anything in there that might be diseased. Composting is great if you can do it. What I'm saying, you can do it. I have 3 large compost bins. You don't need anything that large. You could literally dig a trench, put some old leaves, some old food, some old carrots, some peel some stuff, bury it underground, and just leave that in your garden. It will compost and become food for your soil. This plant here is actually 2. I had these plants were so close together. These were transplants. One plant didn't look like it was going to survive, so I just put them both together. Turns out both of them survived, but they're still thriving. I wasn't worried about them competing for nutrients or water, because I made sure I was giving plenty of nutrients to my soil, made sure I gave all the plants plenty of water. So sometimes it does work when you put things together that are technically too close together. That had something on it, so I didn't want to save those leaves. Oh, that broccoli head looks nice there. That is to say that there are a lot of rules in gardening, but not every rule is 100%. Obviously, you need to make sure your plants get some nutrients. Your plants need to get water, but telling me that I can't put 2 plants together, you saw the results. The spacing requirements or spacing recommendations aren't hard, fast rules. And typically, I'm someone who likes to go with the rules, go with what I've read, but sometimes just take a chance. I'm not going to take a chance on the fruit tree that I spent $50 on, but with stuff like this, sometimes just take a chance. You learn. You learn that, yeah, I may not have a big garden, but I can put more plants in there than the rules tell me that I can put in there. In fact, I feel that even though I was pretty close to spacing recommendations, I put things closer than they were supposed to be, but they still turned out well. These collard greens, in case you're wondering, these are some good old-fashioned Georgia collard greens that I'm growing in Georgia. They taste fantastic. They're cold hardy. Like I mentioned, they've gone through about, I think they've gone through 5 different nights of frost so far. Plants have done very well. I did cover them, but I just used plastic sheeting. We're supposed to be having some harder frost next week, or maybe it's this weekend. Fortunately for Christmas, someone gave me some frost blankets, or whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna spread that over the garden because I think that would help more than just the plastic. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's enough. Now, I know I mentioned sometimes you need to experiment, or that it's okay to experiment. This was an experiment for me. I've been hearing people talk about Kohlrabi and never had it before in my life. But this stuff is good. Some people love it. Some people hate it. The leaves are edible. So is this. I just took these, diced them up, put them in a skillet with some olive oil, a little bit of pepper, a little seasoning salt, and some basil that I'd grown. And oh my goodness, this might be my new very best friend in the fall winter garden. So I'm gonna cook these too. So it looks like this is the last of my, this might be one. That was real small. But yeah, the leaves look the same. So I have one more of these, but that one's nowhere near ready. But this one here is calling my name too. Cutting it off above the root. Root can stay there, break down, and become food for the soil. So I have 3 of these guys here. And a basket full of collard greens. Not a bad harvest. And please, if you like my content, share it out to your friends and family. They might enjoy it. Also, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and hit that notification bell. That way you'll be here next time I have something going on in the garden. So let's get out there and get a little dirty.